Hi, it's Andy back here for Rehab Room. Here we are with episode 2 from the first steps to a career working professional sport. If you missed episode 1, please visit rehabroom.co.uk. You'll find a link up there on the homepage. Episode 1 was all about breaking barriers, so looking at identifying what barriers are in front of you from, you as an aspiring professional wanting to get into professional sport. What are the barriers in front of you at the moment? Which are the barriers we need to sort of be concerned about, and ones that we can sort of dismiss to a certain degree and not worry ourselves too much. And thirdly, with some strategies to try and break down those barriers and give you the best opportunity of progressing to a job in professional sport. So here we are, episode 2, and episode 2 is all about doing your research. So to sort of set this in a little bit, when I'm talking about research, I'm talking about doing some research to prep your initial approach. So when we go to, you're sat on your laptop, you've got an email address for, someone who currently works in professional sport, and you want to get an opportunity with our club. So whether that's a student placement, whether that's, a shadowing experience, whether that's ultimately some sort of internship or voluntary work, or ultimately a job, you might have to make contact with that person. That might be in the form of, a job application for a job that's been advertised. So, to put your best foot forward, that initial approach and what you say, particularly in that first exchange of communication, which more than likely will be an email, is massively important. And we can use research, so researching into the individual you're contacting, and also their club, organisation, company, whoever it is. Also, so there's two sort of prongs: the individual and also the club. So we can use this research to really underpin our initial approach to make sure you're able to sort of showcase yourself, to stand out from all of the people that are not doing research and not able to sort of put their best foot forward. And this can massively put you ahead of, like say, all the other people that are going to be competing. So the aim of the game with research is really to build a conversation and build a rapport with the person you're contacting. So there's some real easy ways to sort of do this, but I think it's really important to touch on first of all that why we want to do it. So I've sort of alluded to already a little bit. It's going to make you stand out from other people that are competing for the same jobs. 99.9% of people do not do this. They will send a pretty bland template email to that person, and I could read the last 100 emails that I've had for similar opportunities, and 99% of them will read exactly the same. It's almost been taken from the same place, or the same person's written. It's telling me absolutely nothing about that person. It shows probably a lack of understanding, a lack of proactivity, and a lack of probably time and effort really that's gone into that initial approach. And if you're considering that you're potentially looking for an opportunity within sport, or whether that's a job, it's not, there's no real excuses really. So we want to read something like an email, that first exchange. We want to sort of be, I'm not saying blown away, but read something that sticks in our head. And does it come to the interview where you're sat in that interview room in front of the panel? There'll be things we can probably pull out of that email to discuss, and I think that's probably a part of the reason why you've got to that interview stage in the first place, that you've been able to stand out from those other people. So it's really important that we do research. It's massively going to make you stand out from the numbers and numbers of people that are not doing this, and obviously put your best foot forward to give you that potential to get that opportunity, that job and that career within. So there really is no cookie cutter approach, if you like, to getting this research and developing this information, if you like, to be able to build conversation rapport with your intended recipient of your information. So what you do need is, however, is a sort of logical and systematic approach to be able to do this. So if we look at research, I spoke in terms of being able to research an individual and also the sort of club or organisation they're involved with. So to give it a little bit of context and give you some sort of poor examples of not how to do it, if you like. So in terms of the individual, I've received numerous emails before that have been addressed to the wrong person. So someone's contacted me as Andy Barker, first and foremost spelt my name completely wrong, addressed the email or letter or whatever it may be to the wrong physio. So they've sent job applications and interests for work to the physio that left the club 8-10 years ago. They've addressed me as Andy Barker, head physio at Leeds Rhinos Rugby Union Club, which is obviously not a club. Leeds Rhinos Rugby League Club. Andy Barker, head physio at Leeds United. Obviously I don't work at Leeds United, so as funny as these are, these are massive errors, and probably not from a lack of trying. It's more so a lack of effort and time, to put together, what is a real important, first impression and that initial contact. And if we don't get this right, this is where I probably see a lot of aspiring professionals who want to progress into sport get it completely wrong, and you're falling at the first hurdle. And to give that a little bit of context, at the medical department where I work now, there's 8 full-time staff across both the Leeds Rhinos and Yorkshire Carnegie, and 7 of those 8 people were all previously known to the department, so they've gained jobs because we know about those people. They've either come through sort of placements, either come through internships and all that so to speak. So it's really important that you're able to obviously show what you're about, but if you're never given the opportunity and you can't actually get your foot in the door, professional sports club, you are going to struggle. So it's really important, and getting this initial approach right. I can't stress enough how important it is, and how many people get this completely wrong, and that's why we see so many aspiring professionals fall at the first hurdle, and they just cannot get that opportunity to showcase what they're about. I'm sure you out there listen to this, and other professionals would make fantastic sport professionals, whether that's in a medical department, S&C, coaching, sports science, whatever it may be. But you're just not given the opportunity, and sometimes it's not just the environment. It's a very tough nut to crack to work in sport, but sometimes it's some of the stuff that that you guys are doing, and you're not probably going around things the right way. And that's the primary reason I put together this small mini series about helping people take their first steps. That's what I talked about previously. I said the initial approach is all about building conversation and, more importantly, rapport. So to give you an example about how you might be able to do this, so if you're doing research on a particular individual, it's quite easy to find out information about that person. So the majority of professionals that work in professional sport will have probably a profile outside of that club, so whether they have contributed to academia, so any journal articles they may write for their own blog or other blogs, they may have produced webinars, podcasts, they may lecture at previous opportunities. The easiest place to probably as a starting point to have a look is probably the club's own website. So it'll give you a bit of a background about their training, where they come from, maybe some of their special interests, and also those other activities, those other domains that they may be involved with. So it gives you a bit of ammunition, if you like, to sort of build together this knowledge base, and able to build together a bit of research really about this person. So when you go to contact someone in that initial email, it's not just going to read, "Hi, my name's Joe Bloggs, I'm a graduate from this university with this degree, can I come and see you next week to see what you do?" Because it's really easy for us as sports professionals to say no to sort of those advances. If you are able to string together and done a little bit of this research that I talk about, and you're able to actually ask maybe a direct question about some of the stuff that I've been involved with, or another sports professional you're contacting, is you're much more likely to get a reply rather than a sort of point blank question, basically asking straight away for a job or a placement or a shadowing experience, because it's a very close shot working in sport, and we're not going to sort of let any sort of Tom, Dick and Harry just come down and see what goes in professional sports clubs. Obviously for obvious reasons, it's quite a tight knit group and an organisation, and letting people in there. We don't just do so here, there, and everywhere. We have to obviously see how it's going to benefit not only yourself, but if that particular opportunity is going to benefit us. And if it doesn't, it's quite easy for us to sort of turn down those advances. And given that, we receive so many of these, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a year of people wanting to have experience or obviously to work in professional sport, and that's for obvious reasons. So, we can't give these opportunities out willy-nilly, and we have to really, give them out to the best candidates. So, again, going back to what I was saying, we're only going to give these opportunities out to the best candidates, and those best candidates, the ones that are able to probably put their best foot forward, and particularly with that initial approach, make a real good impression. And the cornerstone for me about getting that initial approach right is doing your research. So I've given you a sort of example there in terms of the individual. You're able to do some research into that individual. So when you were able to you try to strike up rapport with that person. So again, if you ask them a direct question about something they're involved with, it might not even be related, directly to their current role, in particularly in sport. It might be something completely different, but you're able to probably, one, you're more likely to get a reply, and two, it's obviously instigating that rapport and conversation, which then if some emails bounce back and forth, it might be later down the track that you are in a position to ask for that opportunity, whether that's placement, internship, job, whatever it may be. And I know from my point of view, I'd be much more likely to give someone like that opportunity than that same person sending that pretty bland first email. My name's Joe Bloggs, please give me a placement or please give me a job, because I probably, even though it's via email, being able to find a little bit about that person, try and give me a bit of insight into that person, so I know a little bit of what they're about, even though I've probably never met them before. So you're already ahead of the majority of the people. So doing research for me is something that is going to underpin your initial approach, and it's something that at the moment not done by aspiring sports professionals, and I think is one of the primary reasons so many struggle to get into sport. Getting your foot in the door is probably the hardest thing in professional sport, and some of the ways and means current aspiring professionals are doing that is so poor. Like I say, is part of the reason I put together not only the first steps to creating a professional sport mini-series, but also the Foot in the Door program. And if this is the sort of thing that you struggle with, if you're struggling to make contact with clubs, make those contacts stick, and actually get your foot in the door professional sports club, please see rehabroom.co.uk and go to the Foot in the Door tab. And I'm relaunching the Foot in the Door program, which was real successful its first time around, which launched early in the year in February. Had some fantastic feedback from those those aspiring sports professionals that might be in the same scenario as you, and some of those have gone on to working in sport already off the back of some of the content in the Foot in the Door Foot in the Door program. Sorry. So if you're interested in this sort of stuff, if you want to know things like how to do research, how to put together a sort of knockout CV, the types of things to expect when you are going to interview in a professional sports club, and all the ins and outs of how to get into professional sport, then the Foot in the Door program is for you. So for more information on that, please see rehabroom.co.uk. Look for the links to the Foot in the Door program. Any questions, any queries about this video post or any of the content up on the website or the Foot in the Door program, please contact me. Andy@rehabroom.co.uk is the best email address to get me on, and I'll speak to you all soon.